Welcome back to CBS Saturday Morning. We begin this half hour with a centuries-old tradition in danger of being lost. Since 1965, the number of Catholic nuns and monks in the United States has fallen by 79%. It's a signal of increasingly secular views among Americans. 3 in 10 adults in the U.S. now say they're religiously unaffiliated. As more and more monasteries close, some, including one overlooking the entertainment capital of the world, are trying to find a way forward. Just below the Hollywood sign, a few blocks up the street from Sunset Boulevard, there's a place that stands in contradiction to Hollywood.
Welcome to Monastery of the Angels.
The Monastery of the Angels, where Sister Maria Christine invited us in.
May we? So we certainly can.
Is cloistered, rooted in a 13th century religious tradition founded in France by a monk named Dominique Guzman.
This is the home of the nuns, and normally the public is never allowed in here.
I.e. me.
You.
And all of my friends.
And all of your friends. As you notice, there's no doorknob, so from the public side, you can't enter.
For most of the past 99 years, Dominican nuns have lived here and rarely stepped off monastery property. That's really 4 acres of prime Hollywood real estate donated by a copper tycoon.
We keep silence most of the day. We'll eat in common refectory. Everything is in common. This, when you need the sisters, you can.
May I?
Yes. They would ring this in order to call the sisters to prayer. Because as cloistered nuns, we would come to choir, to chapel 7 times a day for prayers.
This is in the heart of Hollywood.
And you don't hear a thing, do you?
Not a thing. The quiet stillness has long been noticed nonetheless by neighbors who have been allowed to visit the limited public parts of the monastery. Even movie stars became monastery regulars. Like who?
Well, we had famous people like Jane Wyman, Doris Day, Bob and Dolores Hope, Bing Crosby.
And Hollywood really supported this space.
They did. It was their escape. They'd come over here to just have that quiet, prayerful recollection. So the sisters said, we are here to pray for Hollywood. We're here to pray for the movie industry, for the morality.
Imagine how that went.
Well, you know, you could say prayer can move mountains, but sometimes you have mountains that you can't move very well. You pray for Hollywood, and yet it's
still Hollywood.
It's still Hollywood. Yeah, what do I say?
Hollywood and the nuns found many ways to embrace each other. Special showbiz relics ended up with the sisters for safekeeping. For example, this piano was used to compose Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical, Oklahoma. And when Jane Wyman was not winning the Oscar for Best Actress, she made sure another statue graced the grounds where the sisters prayed. But prayers and famous benefactors can't pay all the bills. Life as it has been known here has ended. The sisters all moved to other monasteries.
But vocations aren't plentiful like they used to be. And we saw our aging numbers escalating and not the young. So there was a gap in between. And we said we can be more useful by supporting our other monasteries and then repurposing our monastery here.
I would imagine there are quite a few real estate speculators who would love to get their hands on this property.
Oh yes, yes. I have a whole box full of letters that I've received. Makes us very unique.
But Sister Maria Christine isn't selling. The Monastery of the Angels is more than just a fabulous piece of land with special touches.
The exercise room. Dear benefactor said, you know, we need to put a pool in here where the sisters can exercise properly.
This is quite a gift.
Isn't this?
Or is it 10 decades of memories left in Sister Maria Christine's care? There's centuries of a religious practice to preserve somehow.
And back here was the sewing room.
Gone is the sewing room where sisters made vestments.
We also would make rosaries.
Can you teach me?
They won't be making rosary beads here anymore either.
Like that?
Maybe we have better get you to knitting instead of crocheting.
So what is the plan?
The plan is probably still in the eyes of God. We have many people with many ideas. Some of it has to do with a more professional health care, or is it a school?
So this is the bakery?
One thing sure to be preserved is the pumpkin bread with the sisters' own special recipe.
Delicious.
A popular commodity that's still being baked, sold, and since the pandemic, shipped all across the country. As for the valuable property, the Dominicans are not letting it go and are determined that the Monastery of the Angels' future be very much like its past, a place under the sign that strives to make Hollywood a better place in its own deliberately quiet way.
Was amazing.
That was super interesting.
I know,
no
right?
idea.
What a find.
And I brought pumpkin bread back. I brought food. It's delicious. Please taste. I just, I couldn't help myself or help to think that Sister Maria Christine is like holding back on maybe what the real plan is. Eyes of God, or she just mums the word.
No, it's eyes of God. I mean, she's. It was really interesting.
We'll find out.
Although my favorite part was Michelle says, it's all about quiet reflection. Then she's like, can I ring this bell?
Not necessarily the strongest suit there.